All right, now that we have our model placed and sized correctly, it's time for us to talk about supports and slicing. And we will slice multiple times while we're adding in supports to figure out if we're doing it in the best way. Supports are basically how we hold up some piece of the model, and they're temporary structures that are removed afterwards, but we use them to hold up the model while it's printing. Let me show you what happens if I go ahead and slice Minerva now. I haven't done anything with supports. I'm just going to click this button, Slice Plate. When that happens, we will jump over to this Preview tab, and Minerva will turn orange because she's changing into different types of layers. We also get an orange warning down here, and it says there are floating regions. So a floating region is anything that's going to print in the air without anything underneath it to support it or anything that it is attached to keep it up. So let's zoom in, kind of rotate around, and we're going to look for areas that are problematic here. Her arm is a little bit problematic because it's printing out at a right angle, and so there will be some sagging in the filament there, but it's not necessarily floating because the arm is attached to the body when it starts to print down here. Now, what is going to be particularly problematic, though, is going to be this shield. With this slider on the right-hand side, we can drag down our layers. As we do that, we want to look for anything that might print unattached to anything else. Go down, there might be one layer there on the arm that's going to do it, but there's a couple of layers here on the shield that are just going to kind of float out there without any attachment to anything else when they print. And that means that the law of gravity is going to apply, and those layers are just going to fall down onto the ground. And that's not going to be great for our model. So we want to make sure that we support anything that's floating, also anything that's of particular concern where we might not want to see some sagging in the layers. So that's going to be this arm here. Now there are some other areas that might be of concern here, like this bookshelf, because it is at a completely flat angle, and so there might be some sagging there. And this tunic right here, there will probably be some sagging there as well. So let's go ahead and add in supports, and we'll learn about the different types of supports and how they work. So let's go back to our Prepare tab. Minerva will turn green again, and then we're going to go to our Support panel over here. And we're going to turn on supports. You have to do that before any supports can be generated. Now when you do that, nothing will happen. You never see supports generated until you click Slice Plate. So there are a couple different types of supports. You can see the next option is type, and there are 4 different types. We're going to start with normal auto so that you can see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and click Slice Plate, and all of the green things here are supports. And you can see that Bamboo has just gone crazy in auto-adding supports. And it would be impossible for us to ever remove these from this little Minerva statue without damaging her. So you just couldn't print that many supports. And a lot of these things have no need to be supported, like these little edges on the bookshelf and things like that. You just don't need supports on that kind of thing because they'll print fine, especially at this small scale. Now, another big problem with this one is that it is building supports on the model itself. So she's got this little base here, and it's building supports off of that. It's building supports off of her in various spots, and that means that those supports have to be removed at both the top and the bottom, and that introduces twice the amount of opportunity to damage the model. So we really don't want that unless we absolutely have to have it. To avoid that, we can use this checkbox over here. Even though we're in the Preview tab, we still have access to these options, but when we click on one, it will change it so that it's unsliced because it has to go through that generation process to create the slices, and once we change a parameter, it hasn't gone through it anymore. So we're going to check this box on Build Plate only. So that means it will never build a support onto the model itself. So we'll click Slice Plate again. And at this point, we go down to just these 2 supports. We have one support coming up to hold the book hand and one support coming up to this little edge of the books over here. And the reason those are the only 2 things that are supported now is they're the only things that Bamboo can reach without building on the model itself. So we can tell there's going to be a problem here because we no longer have the shield supported. And the shield really has to be supported or it's going to have a really raggedy edge there where a lot of the filament has fallen to the ground. So we need to try a different type of support. So in the type drop down, we're going to go to Tree Auto. So we're still on auto. We're not making any choices about the supports, just Bamboo Studio is. This is going to build tree supports. Normal supports kind of look like skyscrapers. They're just straight up rectangles. Tree supports are going to look more like trees with branches. So let's go ahead and slice with the tree supports turned on. And now we can see that it is able to, using these branches, reach up and grab a lot of things that it couldn't do with just the normal supports. There are still way too many supports here. It's trying to grab all kinds of things that we don't really need. So we're going to need to go ahead and do manual supports on this, because all we really care about is supporting the book hand and supporting the shield. And it's supporting way too much. We don't want to have to remove these supports from this bookcase back here. We're not really worried about the right angle on the bookcase because it'll have a little sagging but won't be too bad. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change this from tree auto to tree manual. Now, why aren't we going to use normal manual? Because we know that normal can't reach all the areas that we need to. So we're going to go with tree manual because we know that it can reach the areas we want it to while still remaining only on the build plate. So now that we're here, we need to paint on supports. We got to go back to the prepare tab so that we get our toolbar again. Click on Minerva so that these tools can be highlighted. And then we're going to choose this one that looks like an inverted L shape with kind of a cross pattern going underneath it. That's support painting. Click on that, and now we'll be able to paint supports. We get this new dialog box over here, and we want to turn on overhangs only because we don't really want to put supports on the sides of the model. We only want to do it in places where it's overhanging. We can rotate Minerva just like before. She is gray now just to show us we're in a different mode, and we want to see the bottom of that shield there. Now we want to take this slider here that says highlight overhangs only, and we want to pull that up until we can see the areas we want to paint on as red, because that means we'll be able to put the supports there. So we're increasing the angle that it will put supports on, and then our pen size is how big an area we will paint. So if you see that little circle, let me put it over the blue here so that you can see it better. That circle is the pen size. So we can make it bigger or smaller depending on how much we want to paint. So now it's a smaller circle. So now I'm going to go ahead and paint the bottom of the shield here because I know that I want to support all of that. And sometimes I might need to rotate to be able to get a good angle on it. And this is why it's good to have on overhangs only checked so that you don't accidentally paint on another just like side or edge of it. And then here for the hand, I'm going to go a little bit bigger in my pen size to make sure I grab all of it. I'm going to do the hand, and I'm also going to do the sleeve because it might be floating there a little bit. And that's all that you need to do in order to pass the project, is make sure that those areas are supported. I'm not going to worry about anything else here. I'm going to go ahead and click back on my support painting tool to exit that, and you can see there are no supports right now. The reason there's no supports right now is because we haven't sliced again. So let's scroll out here. And then we're going to slice. There is no cost to slicing, so feel free to slice as many times as you need to in order to figure out where to get the supports correct. A lot of people are too worried about getting everything right before they slice. You can always go backwards. So let's go ahead and slice this, and let's see what we get. Now we have supports just where we want them. We have the supports here on the book hand and arm, and we have the supports on the shield. So we've successfully done what we needed to do. Okay, let's scroll out here. It's looking good. Now, I've told you exactly what to do for the Minerva project with supports, but supports are a very personal decision based on how you want the model to turn out. So on all future models that you are printing, you will need to make your own decisions about supports. Do make sure that you support floating regions because you don't want those to just fall down to the base. But other than that, you're really just going with the trade-off between having to remove more supports, which can be more difficult, having to remove less supports, which might mean that parts of the model are sagging. So you're just going to go with a trade-off, and it will take practice for you to figure out what that looks like for you and how you want to do it. Okay, it just takes practice, and there will be mistakes along the way. Sometimes you won't support something that needs to, and you'll end up with a spaghetti failure. Now, we look at the models before we print them, and if we see something that's obviously wrong, we will kind of send it back to you and tell you that, but we can't catch everything, and sometimes we just think that you're making a decision based on how you want the model to look. So you might need to print a model a couple of different times to find out how you want the supports to be. Okay, there's just one more thing that we might want to add to our model in order to help it as it prints, and that is to help with adhesion. We might want one of those brims that we talked about in the plate video. So for that, we're going to go to our others tab, and we're going to go down until we find brim type. So if we wanted a brim, we could click here and choose outer brim only, and then it unslices because it needs to slice again to make that happen. We could click slice plate here. And now we can see the blue shows where the brim will be. Now it's important to note that these colors have nothing to do with the printing colors. They're just there to show us what type of printing is happening there, whether it's a brim or a regular layer or a support layer. Don't worry about the other options under others. You don't have to worry about those. And now we're ready to go ahead and export our plate. Now you don't have to have a brim on the Minerva. I just did that to show you how it would look. I'm going to go ahead and take that off, just put it back at auto and reslice it. And then in the next video, I am going to show you how to export the plate.